helped me move. He brought his Volkswagen bus over, and we took the seats out, and because I had a Corvair. I had a little Corvair Monza. I couldn't haul anything. And I borrowed a pickup from somebody, and then Bill brought his Volkswagen bus, and we loaded up, and he was just really dutiful. He helped me move everything up there except the piano. The piano was the real problem. And so he says, well, if I take the top off, it had one of these canvas tops you could roll back, and if we get it in at the right angle, we can probably get it in there. Well, Bill and I got this piano into the Volkswagen bus, and if you ever saw anything funnier than this piano sticking up through the canvas top of this Volkswagen going up the road, it was absolutely hilarious.
Started sometime in the late 60s, early 70s, rebuilding player pianos, and I wanted one, so he found one for me in a basement in Chehalis. I don't know how he found it, but he found one. They wanted $15 for it if we'd haul it away. So I says, for 15 bucks, I'll take it. Bill says, I think it's all there. Well, we got up to the basement.
I take a look at that, and I said, Bill, who picked out this trailer? He said, I did. I said, how are we going to do this? Put it in upside down? I said, the trailer's not big enough.
Of course, we had the wrong trailer. We had to send Alan, I think, back to Longview to get a new trailer to haul it out. We tried to figure out how to get it out of the basement, but it was all there. The keys were ripped off, parts of the thing were taken off, and the kids had played on it, pounded nails in it, had sawed on it, and hacked on the saw. But anyway, we picked up this player piano and hauled it back to Longview.
11 o'clock that night or something, we had a player piano that was not in very good shape.
And with Bill's help, he showed me how to do it, and we rebuilt the player piano that Eric still has to this day.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates, you got a brand new key. I think that we should get together and ride around the city. I've been looking around the world, you got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates, you got a brand new key.
He became quite well known for his skill at rebuilding player pianos. He's in quite a bit of demand. And occasionally he would see one for sale somewhere, and he'd buy it and bring it home and refurbish it and retube it, and new pneumatics.
Working on the bellows and doing the gluing, but I don't know how many he did. Bill sold one to Don Smith. Had rebuilt it, and Don Smith wanted it.
So how are we going to move it? He said, we're going to take it right down Maple Street.
Took all the heavy parts off the thing, and we rolled it down the street. Literally rolled it right straight down 23rd, turned left, and rolled all the way to Don's house, and then we got it there, and we had then to take it in the house.
We brought it in the back of that house. And so where do you want it? We want it in the basement.
We had plenty of help. We got this player piano down the basement, and you got to visualize this because it's a stairway that turned and then went down, and there was a wall that came down, so the player piano with the wheels wouldn't go underneath the ceiling for the basement. So we took this in there, and Odine, the non-engineer, said, why don't we turn it over in the stairway, and that way the wheels will go underneath that and we can get it down there. Well, Alan Howard, of course, the engineer, incredulous, you can't do that. But we did. We turned that thing upside down in the stairwell, went down, and it's got to be in the basement to this day because nobody could get it out of there unless they cut it in half. They would never know to turn it upside down the stairway.
One time Bill calls me, he says, Al, he says, I just bought a player piano up at Silver Lake. Oh, really? He says, will you help me go get it? I said, sure. He's at the Silver Lake store, right on the south northwest corner of Silver Lake. So we go charging up there in my pickup, my ramp side Corvair pickup. We go in, and here's the piano in a little living quarters behind the store, which had a bar and they served beer, and it was a kind of an all general purpose general store. So So we go look at the piano, and I says, Bill, we're not going to get that piano out of there. That's not going to come out. That door and those shelves and the store have been. And so Bill asked, he says, well, when was the piano put in there? And this lady said, well, I don't know. It's been a number of years. But we did do some building out here for shelves and cabinets for the store. So we began to unload shelves of canned goods, shelves of cornflakes, and then we had to pull the shelves off the wall. We had to take the door jamb off. We were there from like 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. There was a couple of old guys sitting over at the bar drinking beer all this time, laughing and pointing. And what kind of nuts were these guys over there trying to get this piano out of this store? We finally did get the piano out by dismantling a whole corner of the store. Rolled it out, got it in the pickup, and then we went back and of course put the shelves back and put the moldings up and put the door jambs in and rehung the door. It was a major. I don't think we got home till midnight. I said, Bill, on the way home, I said, Bill, remind me to look for a new friend who collects tiddlywinks.
Helped him haul a few out. Then finally, when they started doing Cortons, they did the hauling and we didn't have to. I helped install Tim Trinkle's player piano. Oh man, there's a lot of misery in this friendship. And so obviously we did it for fun because you didn't do it because you were smart, because you could easily have hurt yourself. Turning a player piano up and upside down in the middle of the stairway is not smart. It worked, but it's not smart.
We had pianos all over the house, and it was always fascinating to me, these mechanics and how these things worked, and he eventually gave up the hobby. It was about the time that Cortons loved the fact that he rebuilt pianos, and they would bring over pianos, he'd rebuild them, and then he'd send them back. But then they started liking it so much that they said they gave him a quota. Said, by Christmas we need this many. And that's about the time he said, you know, I do this for fun, I don't do it for business, I don't need to do this. And so that's about the time he stopped. But as a kid, I kind of wanted to make some money, and I kind of enjoyed the process. So I wanted to rebuild some player pianos and make some money. So I did, and Dad, you know, taught me how to do it and what the process is. And so I rebuilt a player piano in the back, and it took me a while to do it all. And then went to go test it. And the way you test these things is you hook up a vacuum cleaner to it because they run on a vacuum pump, and was trying to get the thing to work, but it was just, there were so many leaks. I mean, I could tell it was just being really weak. It wouldn't actuate much, and I'm trying to find these leaks, but it's kind of hard. It's hard to listen for the leaks while the vacuum cleaner is running over there. I tried using a tube to try to, you know, for my ear to listen for the leak, but one, it didn't work very well, and two, I was figuring if I did find the leak, it'd suck my eardrum out, so I didn't really want to do this. So I went to Dad and said, Dad, how do you find these leaks? He says, oh, don't tell your mom, but in the dentist chest, third drawer down, in the back, there are some cigars, cheap, lousy cigars, and they're probably really old, but take one of those cigars and light it up. Don't inhale it, but just light it up and then use the smoke to find the leaks. And so I lit up this cigar. I was, you know, probably 12 or 13 or something like that. Took a cigar and looking for Mom and checking for leaks, and it worked. I mean, the smoke went right into where the leaks were. I was able to patch them up.